You're gearing up for the action, and the feeling's still the same. You've got butterflies in the stomach, but your mind is on the game. Play this game of rugby league. Some folks would think you're nuts, but it takes a lot of skill and just plain old-fashioned guts. So whether you're on the cricket ground, Lang Park or the bush, you've still got to run, you've still got to tackle, and the scrums have got the same push. You give it some, you give some more, and you really give your all. Playing rugby league football, it's the greatest game of all. Oh, there's nothing like the spectacle of a test match in full roar, with the forwards charging, backs are stepping, running at full bore. The Pommies and the Kiwis and the Frogs all play real keen, but we take on all comers and Australia reigns supreme. So whether you're on the cricket ground, Lang Park or the bush, you still gotta run, you still gotta tackle, and the scrums have got the same push. You give it some, you give some more, and you really give your all. Playing rugby league football, it's the greatest game of all.
Horizontal player just short of the quarterway, places to Lang, across field to Beeston, after Beeston turns it back to Lang. Lang gives it back now to Meninga, standing still. Meninga gives it back to Close, who has to reverse and go back in field. Chris throws it away! He's up the centre, can he get him? He can't! He's in! Under the post! Oh, what a great try! As the crowd joshes up! Closes in!
So whether you're on the cricket ground, Lang Park or the bush, you still gotta run, you still gotta tackle, and the scrums have got the same push. You give it some, you give some more, and you really give your all. Playing rugby league football, it's the greatest game of all. So whether you're on the cricket ground, Lang Park or the bush, when you still gotta run, you still gotta tackle, and the scrums.
And welcome viewers and listeners to a new season of Rugby League football, 1993-94 season, and the first season of the first division for Featherstone Rovers a couple of seasons. Away to LEIGH, and the Featherstone Rovers team coming out here at Elm Park, the home of LEIGH Rugby League Football Club. Number 1 Martin Pearson, 2 is Ikram Butts, 3 is Terry Manning, 4 Carl Gibson, 5 Owen Simpson, 6 Francis Maloney, 7 Brett Daunt, 8 Steve Malloy, 9 Richard Gunn, 10 Leo Casey, 11 Gary Price, 12 Richard O'Brien, and 13 Brendan Toots, with substitutes 14 Mark Wilson and 15 Gary H. Price. Your LEIGH team: number 1 Andy Collier, number 2 Dean Purtill, number 3 Simon Booth, 4 is Dean Anger, 5 Mike Blakely, 6 Scott Martin, 7 Stuart Pugsley, 8 Tony Burke, 9 Paul Rowley, 10 Tim Street, 11 Simon Baldwin, 12 Lee Anson, and 13 John Pendlebury, with 14 being David Hill and 15 Duncan Platts. The referee for today is from Keighley, Mr. N. Wood. So, a new look Featherstone Rovers for the start of 1993-94 season. No Paul Newlove, no Ian Smales, but coach Steve Martin, along with his fellow committee men, have tried to buy players to replace them 2 players. Have strengthened the squad in Andy Courier, Carl Gibson, Steve Malloy and Gary Price from Wakefield. But bit of bad luck robbing Andy Courier of his debut here at LEIGH for Featherstone Rovers. Got injured in a pre-season friendly, and he looks like being out for 2 months. So that's a bad blow for Featherstone Rovers, but knowing the Rovers team, they'll bounce back from that. Carl Gibson, a very experienced player who Steve Martin signed in midweek from the Leeds club. Great Britain international player, Yorkshire player, and in fact I think Carl Gibson does all the consecutive appearances in the Leeds shirts, 300 odd consecutive appearances. On the LEIGH front, they've lost 1 or 2 players close season, especially the Rowan brothers, Andy and David. Andy having gone to Barrow, and David yet to agree a new contract. But two Australian coaches for this afternoon's lineup. Steve Sims, of course, with LEIGH, and of course Steve Martin with Featherstone Rovers. So it'll be a battle of tactics off the field as well on it. So Featherstone Rovers winning the toss, playing from right to left if we look at the field. And by my watch we're just on about 3 o'clock. Sunday the 29th of August 1993 gets the season underway. Big kick downfield, and Brett Dorn takes that kick off, gives the ball straight away there to Richard O'Brien, runs it in strong. Tackling that by Lee Hansen, brings him down. Now it's Ikram Butt off his wing. And number 10 there, Tim Street in at the tackle, and number 13, John Pendlebury. So it's Featherstone Rovers, Gary Price tried to make that halfway line, but number 12 there, Lee Hansen, making the tackle along with number 7, Stuart Pugsley. That's good defence that on Steve Malloy by John Pendlebury. Now it's Brendan Toolter trying to reach that halfway line. Good defence there, number 12, Lee Hansen yet again. Ball back there to Brett Dorn. Brett Dorn there trying to push it into the corner. But number 1 there, Andy Collier on top of it, makes the perfect catch inside his own 20-metre area. So it's Lee. First possession of the ball, Scott Martin there trying to run it out. That's the second tackle, so it's Tim Street. Good defence by Rovers, but referee penalising Featherstone Rovers in the tackle. So first penalty goes to LEIGH. Finds touch on the far side. So it'll be number 9, Paul Rowley, to tap the ball to Tim Street yet again, trying to reach that halfway line. Big favourite here at LEIGH, Tim Street. Plays the ball back. So it's number 7 there, Stuart Pugsley, trying to get his forwards running onto this ball. We're just about on the halfway line. It's still Leigh 0, Featherstone Rovers 0. Big number 12 there, Lee Hansen. 2 metres inside that Featherstone Rovers half of the field. Now it's John Pendlebury with the ball. Trying to turn round, ex-Bradford Northern player John Pendlebury, ex-Leeds Wigan player. So it's Pugsley there trying to reach this near touchline side, but Martin Pearson takes the ball inside his own goal area. Martin Pearson just manages to get the ball over his own goal line. And LEIGH putting Rovers under a tremendous amount of pressure that time. A drop out under their own sticks for Featherstone Rovers. Francis Maloney, that big drop kick, and Andy Collier takes it on the halfway line, runs it in, straight and true. That's the only way to go in this game. Nice tackle that by Leo Casey round the bootlaces. Now it's Lee Hansen, he's getting involved in the game early on in this match. Being tackled there by number 12, Richard O'Brien. And Richard O'Brien penalised. Keeping hold of the tackle player too long, Lee Hansen. So it's another penalty kick to LEIGH. There's a chance here for number 5, Mike Blakely, to open the scoring in this game. So it's a chance here for number 5, Mike Blakely, to put LEIGH 2 points in front. Looking at the ball, looking at the posts. Here we go, strikes the ball. Strikes it true. He owns the 1993-94 season with 2 points. It's LEIGH 2, Featherstone Rovers 0. So it'll be Martin Pearson. Restarts the game. That's a good kick by Martin. That's beat all the lay. That's hoodwinked them all. Martin Pearson there threatening to kick the ball right to left. Just look at the pitch, but he turned round his direction and saw a gap in the lay defence there. And that's quick thinking by the Rovers fullback. That's put him lay under pressure when it should have been Featherstone under pressure. So Rovers should get this ball from the kick-off. And that's absolutely brilliant, that by Brendan Toole, taking that ball there on the full. And number 11 there, Simon Baldwin, brings the tackle off. So it's Rovers. Brett Daunt with the ball now there to Martin Pearson, linking up from fullback. Well, that's good defence there. Number 9, Paul Rowley, wrapping him up. So it's Rovers. Brett Daunt with the ball now. Brett Daunt there gives the ball there to Steve Malloy, trying to break that first defence. Well, that's good tackling once again by the hooker, Rowley. So it's Brett Daunt with the ball. Brett Daunt now there to Francis Maloney. That long ball out there now to Martin Pearson. That's good play by Rovers. But number 6 there, Scott Martin, watched him all the way. So it's Rovers pounding that lay first line of defence. Trailing by 2 points. So it's Brett Daunt with the ball there. That's back to 1. That's all on. Oh, that was a lucky escape for the lay defence. That ball spinning everywhere, but finally spinning into a pair of Leigh's players' hands that time. So it's John Pendle with the ball now for Leigh, trying to bring it out to his own 20-metre area. That's good play, but good defence that by Richard Gunn. And once again, Richard Gunn at the tackle, but he misses his man. So it's Leigh in possession, just outside their own 20-metre area, trying to bring the ball up to the halfway line. So the ball back, that big kick deep downfield, and Ikram but there just waiting for the ball to bounce. Bounces off one man, Ikram but bounces off 2 men. Just tackles short of that halfway line. Plays the ball back, Richard Gunn now to Brett Daunt. Brett Daunt now there to Martin Pearson, looking for the gaps. But number 12, Lee Hanson, scoops him up, makes the tackle. Richard Gunn with the ball now there to Brett Daunt. Brett Daunt there, that little dummy. And number 8 there, Tony Burke, signing from Warrington in the close season, makes the tackle. So number 11 there, Richard O'Brien, Gary Price I should say, runs it in. So it's Brett Daunt there, that little kick over. Oh, and that's well took that by number 1, Andy Collier. The ball stuck. And once again, Rovers penalised. Pinching the ball in the tackle, so that's 3 penalties to Leigh. To Leigh's 0. To Featherstone Rovers 0, I should say. So number 5, Mike Blakely, the only point scorer in this match at the moment, kicks the ball into touch, so it's Tony Burke. Roll over in the tackle. Steve Malloy making the tackle. Once again, Steve Malloy involved with the tackle there on Tim Street, just about on the halfway line. That's the second tackle. Once again, good defence by Rovers. Referee watching the Rovers line there at that play of the ball, making sure. Referee spotting a forward pass. So this will be the first scrum of the match. Well, the referee there was watching Featherstone Rovers above 10 metres back, and I was clearly more in line there with that forward pass situation, and he pulled a forward pass. So Francis Maloney there, that big kick downfield. Carl Gibson after the ball. Is Carl Gibson's going to score? But Carl Gibson's caught offside. And I must say that the referee was banging order that time. Carl Gibson and Owen Simpson clearly in front of the kicker, Francis Maloney, kicked the ball downfield. But at least that'll give Leigh food for thought. No arguments about that decision. The only thing wrong with that decision is the referee ought to have shouted to the players, give him 10. which he clearly didn't do. So number 1 there, Andy Collier. So it's Leigh in possession of the ball, deep inside their own half of the field. So that big kick towards Ikram Butt's wing. Ikram Butt coming across for the ball, slips on the surface, gets up, regains his feet, pushes one man off yet again. But Ikram Butt's in that moment losing ground. So it's Martin Pearce with the ball now there to Terry Manning. Terry Manning once again being stopped there by Lee Hansen. Oh.
Feet. He kicked him.
Penalty kick to Martin Pearce. Well, I was just going to say the referee right over the play the ball, and I could see what happened there in the stand. Terry Manning wanted to play the ball. The layman just kicked his legs from underneath him, and the touch judge had to run on 40 metres to tell the referee what had gone on. And once again another penalty to Rovers. Lee Hansen there being once again too enthusiastic, putting the fist in at the tackle. So Martin Pearson punishes Leigh back further still. So 2 penalties have brought Featherstone Rovers from their own 25 metre line, from the own 20 metre line to the Leigh's 20 metre line. So Leo Casey runs it in, loses his feet. So it's Steve Malloy driving it towards that Leigh try line. That's the second tackle. So it's Brett Dawn. Brett Dawn now there to Gary Price. Gary Price tackle about 10 metres short of that try line. Brett Dawn with the ball now there to Francis Morley. Francis Morley, that little kick through. Martin Pearson scores the try for Rovers. That little kick through there by Brett Dawn, that was a planned move. With the ball now, there to Francis Morley. Francis Morley, that little kick through. Martin Pearson scores the try for Rovers. Following up, dived on the ball. First try for Martin for this 1993-94 season for Featherstone Rovers. Leigh 2, Featherstone Rovers 4, with Martin Pearson trying to convert his own try. Well, this man last season broke the Featherstone Rovers point scoring record, beating Steve Quinn's points for in a season. And the way Martin set off this current season, I put the mockers on him. Unbelievable. But I'll just keep saying what I'm going to say. He's a point scoring machine, is Martin, and I'm sure that won't hinder him. Featherstone Rovers in the lead by 2 points to 4. So Leigh gets the game underway, straight to Brett Dawn. Brett Dawn gives it to Richard O'Brien over his own 20 metre line. So Terry Manning with the ball, good tackling that by the hooker there, Paul Rowley, watching that move all the way. Now it's Gary Price with the ball. So it's Steve Malloy there, trying to reach that, gets the ball away in the tackle to Richard Gunn there now to Brendan Toulter, looking for the gaps in this LEIGH defence. Got 3 men round Brendan Toulter there. Now it's Brett Dawn with the ball now there to Leo Casey, looking for the halfway line. That's good play by Leo Casey. Finds the halfway line. So Richard Gunn, that big up and under, testing the fullback out, but that's brilliantly took that. And good defence that by Carl Gibson. Andy Collier there took that ball well. Carl Gibson there, up like a flash, making the tackle. Owen Simpson involved in the tackle that time as opposite winger Mike Blakely. So thanks to the touch judge Tavishan again that it's a penalty kick to LEIGH. Rovers caught pinching the ball in the tackle, so it's Tony Burt with the ball. Tony Burt being brought down there by Richard Gunn and Steve Malloy. Now it's Lee Hanson with the ball. That's good running that by the number 12. He's had a fine first quarter. So it's LEIGH there trying to work the movements. Number 2 there, Dean Pertill, having to stop his tracks, and Rovers getting possession from that. LEIGH losing the ball in the tackle. So it's Ikram Butts. Ikram Butts off his wing, gets the ball away there to Richard Gunn, to Martin Pearson. Martin Pearson throw the gap. Martin Pearson on a strong run, gets the ball there to Carl Gibson. Magic play that by Martin Pearson. Go backing up by Carl Gibson. So it's Brett Dawn with the ball now there to Francis Maloney. Francis Maloney trying to run through the gap. Simon Bowen pulls the tackle off, so it's Brett Dawn with the ball now. Brett Dawn here looking for runners to Martin Pearson. Martin Pearson back there now to Ikram Butt. Ikram Butt there trying to get rid of the ball. But number 5 there, Mike Blakely, gets it for LEIGH. Oh, exciting things happening there at Hilton Park. Rovers there promised so much in that build-up. That little break there by Martin Pearson. Tim Street just getting across to ankle tap him. Oh, and that's a bad mistake by LEIGH. Feathers Rovers possession. Now Rovers, can you capitalise on this? You're so near that line. That's good play that by Gary Price. Saw the little gap there, shot through it. Now it's Leo Casey, that big driving towards that line. Oh, he's got rid of the ball. Leo Casey there, just being that little bit too eager, trying to release the ball in the tackle near the line. LEIGH possession. Steve Malloy there coming across. That's good play there by number 9, Paul Rowley. Good tackling that by Brent Daunt. And Gary Price being penalised, holding the man down in the tackle. It's still LEIGH 2, Featherstone Rovers 4. So it'll be number 5, Mike Blakely. Finds touch. Just on this near side. So it's Mark Rowley, taps the ball there to Lee Hanson, but Francis Maloney in the thick of things that time. Now it's Tony Burke with the ball. Tony Burke looking for the gaps. But Brendan Toulter makes the tackle. Oh, and that was a forward pass there to Tim Street. Referee says play on. Stuart Pugsley pass there to Tim Street. But LEIGH now testing this Rovers defence out. Throwing this ball on the line. They've got men outside here. But that's a marvellous tackle, that. Francis Maloney there on number 4, Dean Anger. One to save her. Marvellous defence that by the Rovers, number 6, Francis Maloney. Really putting his body on the line that time. So thrills and spills at both ends of the ground here at Tilton Park. First Rovers are pressing on that Leigh try line, then Leigh pressing on this Featherstone Rovers try line. So Brett Daunt to feed the scrum, gives the ball there to Carl Gibson. Carl Gibson there trying to get round number 4 Dean Anger, but Dean Anger there hanging on. Makes the tackle, so it's Richard O'Brien. Good defence by Scott Martin, but also good yardage that by the Rovers second row forward. So it's Gary. Steve Malloy gets that ball there now to Ikram, but gets up, plays the ball. So it's Brendan Tolte. That's good running that by Rovers, loose forward up to the halfway line. Beating 2 would-be tacklers. Now it's Gary Price. This is good forward power by the Rovers. Sharing the duties out this afternoon. Now it's Brett Daunt with the ball. Brett Daunt, that little kick over, it's all on Brett Daunt after that ball. But once again, Andy Collier there makes the catch. Tricky ball to go for there, but the fullback there stuck to his task. Once again, Lee Allen with the ball there, but Carl Gibson there made the tackle, but Lee Allen, to me, went in with the elbow on Carl Gibson. He lost the ball in the tackle. Well, once again, the touch judge interfering with play, saying the Rovers player pieced the ball out of the tackle, but the tackle before Leigh number 12 there, Lee Hanson, went in Carl Gibson with a shoulder there on his eye, and the touch judge was nearest to that as anybody on the field and never said anything about that. Anyway, back to play. Tim Street with the ball. Half stop there by Gary Price. Tackle completed there by Richard Gunn, Richard O'Brien and Leo Casey. Leo Casey also involved with that tackle. So it's Leigh still trailing by them 2 points. No one there, Andy Collier trying to straighten things up. Once again, good defence by Rovers. So it's Pugsley with the ball now there, gets that ball out wide. Leigh there trying to use the short side, that looked like a forward pass to me. But that was absolutely magic defence by Rovers, because the wingman there, Dean Puretil, was got a so clean pair of heels, but where I'm sat here in the stand, it was surely a forward pass, and to me that's justice been done. So it'll be a scrum down. With number 7, Brett Daunt to feed the scrum. The ball there to Terry Manning. So it's Ikram, but from acting half-back. Good running by Ikram, but now it's Richard O'Brien trying to reach the halfway line, but that's good Leigh defence. Second tackle there going in, no need for that. So it's Richard Gunn for Rovers. Leigh moving up quickly. So Brett Daunt now from acting half-back. Brett Daunt now gives the ball there to Brendan Tolte. Well, Rovers just losing themselves in that moment. Ball there on the 6th tackle going back there to Leo Casey, and I'm sure that Leo Casey wasn't supposed to kick it downfield. Good defence there by Francis Maloney. Once again, penalty kick to Leigh, holding down in the tackle. So number 5, Mike Blakely, trying to square things up here at Tilton Park. It's still LEIGH 2, Featherstone Rovers 4. I've just lost count of the penalty count, but it must be about 9-3, something like that. Strikes the ball, strikes it well. Straight between the middle, LEIGH 4, Featherstone Rovers 4. So it'll be Martin Pearson restarting the game. Takes the ball just short of his own try line. So just about 25 minutes gone in this first half. It's Hall Stephen back to where we started. LEIGH 4, Featherstone Rovers 4. LEIGH in possession. Oh, that's bad defence by Rovers. Brett Daughtry coming across, makes the tackle. So it's John Pendlebury with the ball there, that's a knock on. So just looking down at Brett Daughtry, I think he might have got a few sore ribs that time. Making the tackle, but he's okay. It'll be Brett Daughtry to feed the scrum and LEIGH it on. LEIGH there pushing before the ball had gone in, and the referee allowed him to get away with it.
That's pretty terrible, is that?
Well, to me, that's justice. The LEIGH scrum half knocking the ball on there at the base of the scrum, because the rule states that the pack is not supposed to push for the ball before the ball goes in. So Francis Maloney with the ball. So Brett Daughtry now gives it to Richard O'Brien. Richard O'Brien trying to reach the halfway line. Well, good defence there by number 7, Stuart Pugsley. Makes the tackle. Now it's Gary Price. Gary Price there, being upended there. Good defence that by number 4, Dean Anger. Oh, good running that by Brendan Toter. That's a penalty kick to Rovers. Well, I'm sure the Featherstone Rovers was due one of them. Richard Gunn there, that quick tap. But to me, Rovers there have been better off. That was kickable, that for Martin Pearson. So Brett Daughtry with the ball now there to Leo Casey. Leo Casey driving it towards them posts. And from all that, the referee's awarding a scrum down. With the LEIGH put in. We're going to back to that incident, that penalty kick there. Richard Gunn there, to me, just... and LEIGH have lost possession and Featherstone Rovers have got it, so it's Francis Maloney for Rovers. Just got to steady things down. It's still four points apiece, so it's Steve Malloy, that big driving down this left touchline side. Good defence by LEIGH, Tim Streeton at the tackle. So it's Brett Daughtry back inside there. So it's Brett Daughtry with the ball now there to Francis Maloney through the gap. Oh, he was shooting away there with Francis. Tackle just short, Brendan Toter. Scores the try for Rovers under the post. Brendan Toolter there gets the Rovers fans in rapturous applause behind them posts. So it's Britt going with the ball now, it's a Francis Maloney through the gap. Oh, he was shooting away there with Francis. Tackle just short, Brendan Toolter scores the try for Rovers under the post. So Martin Pearson strikes the ball, puts the extras on, Leigh 4, Featherstone Rovers 10. That try coming after Leigh lost the ball inside their own 20-metre area. After I was saying that Richard Gunn tapped the ball quickly, I thought, to just wait a bit, I thought it was a kickable position for Martin Pearson, but the play's no better, they're on the field, they're nearer the play. And that big drive in there by Leo Casey getting the ball back, and that's near miss by Francis Maloney, and then Brendan Toolter from acting half-back scuttling over underneath the post. Martin Pearson tagging the extras on. Rovers in the lead by 10 points to 4. So referee saying a forward pass. Just about 10 metres inside Featherstone Rovers half. John Pendlebury there picking the ball outside the base of the scrum. Oh, and he's lost the ball in the tackle. That's a knock-on, or Featherstone's possession. Good work move that by Leigh, using John Pendlebury as the extra man, picking the ball up from the base of the scrum. Catching the Rovers defence unaware. So it's Sicker Butts there, finally gets the ball for Rovers, gives the ball back there to Richard Gunn. Richard Gunn now to Steve Malloy there, and that's a forward pass. And Owen Simpson saying no way, but the referee's in charge. Put the ball in again, lad, and he does so. Bad mistake by Leigh. Number 6 there, Scott Martin, wanting to get the ball away. Leigh catching catch-up football. They're panicking a bit, but there's another 8 minutes left in this half yet, and another second half to go. So it's Francis Maloney friendly. He loses the ball. Unbelievable. So number 4, Dean Anger, being tackled there by Owen Simpson. Now Leigh, pressure on this Rovers line. Number 12 there, Lee Hansen, runs it in strong. Good tackling by Richard O'Brien. Now Leigh putting pressure on Tony Burt for Leigh. But that Rovers defence standing firm. The Rovers at this moment in time have got to play it out into, so it's Tim Street. So near so far. Francis Maloney is having treatment. He's back up. Oh, and that's a knock-on. That's a knock-on. You can do what you want, lads, but it's a knock-on. They've got to come back. It'll be a scrum. Be a scrum on that 10-metre line. And Featherstone Rovers, they've got 1 or 2 players injured here, and so has Leigh. It's first match of the season. They're really feeling the bumps. Francis Maloney looks like he's got a bit of a dead leg. I'm sure he'll shrug that off, but he looks a bit dodgy there, hobbling about, and Leigh's got a player out injured. Obviously the referee stopped the clock. Rovers leading by 4 points to 10. So Brett Daunt feeds the scrum. Here's the ball there to Terry Manning. So Richard Gunn with the ball. Richard Gunn now there to Richard O'Brien. So Richard Gunn there showing the ball. But Tim Street there, wise to that move, makes the tackle along with John Pendlebury. And that's all on. So it's Ikram Butt with the ball. Ikram Butt there. On that far touchline side, trying to make progress to the halfway line. Terry Manning there looking for runners outside him, but deciding to go solo. Rightly so. Now we'll see a big kick downfield. Brett Daunt there gives the ball there to Martin Pearson. Martin Pearson there, that big kick downfield. That's a good kick that by Martin Pearson. In fact, that's going to beat everybody. Rolls into touch on this near side, right in the corner flag. Number 5 there, Mike Blakely. Rightly so to me, because it was a bad awkward bouncing ball. Decided to let the ball run into touch. So it'll be number 7, Stuart Pugsley, to feed the scrum. The ball's in. It's out to Leigh. And Carl Gibson there wraps his man up. That's a good hard tackle, that by Carl Gibson. So it's Andy Collier in from full-back, and once again Carl Gibson makes the tackle. So number 4 there, live little customer this here, Dean Anger. Pendlebury there gets the ball away, but that's good defence that by Steve Malloy, stopping man and ball. John Pendlebury now there to Tim Street. Good defence that by Steve Malloy. Round the bootlaces. This must be the last tackle. That kick along the line. It's all on Ikram Butt there, taking that awkward bouncing ball. Ikram Butt there up to his own 20-metre line. Good running by the Rovers wingman. Just about 3 or 4 minutes left for half time, plus injury time. So it's Terry Manning there. Lee Hanlon making the tackle. So it's Richard O'Brien. Pendlebury there making the tackle. So Leo Casey, once again John Pendlebury, Tony Burke, all involved with the tackling. So Brendan Toter running out wide, gives the ball there to Brett Daunt. And Brett Daunt tackled halfway between his own 20-metre line and the halfway line. So the ball back now there to Martin Pearson. Quick boot to ball. Straight down number 5 there, Mike Blakely's throat, takes the clean catch. Tries to run it in, but the Rovers defence moving up quickly, no way to run. That's good defence that by Rovers, following that Martin Pearson kick upfield. So it's Andy Collier with the ball. 1 tackle, over the halfway line. Good running by the Leigh fullback. He's had a fine game for the Red and Whites this afternoon. And so has this man here. But that's a marvellous tackle, that. Francis Maloney in at the tackle. Copybook tackling that by Francis Maloney. So it's Pugsley there to Tim Street. Back to Pugsley. That's all on. That's back to 1. Still Leigh possession. Number 3, Simon Bull. Still going, gets the ball away, but that's Rovers possession, but it's a knock-on. And just looking down, Francis Maloney really having difficulty out here. But Featherstone Rovers having Mark Wilson as sub and Neil Roebuck. So just so near to go to hard half time. So it's Lee Allen with the ball there, and once again Carl Gibson this time makes the tackle. Richard O'Brien on top. He's a danger, this Lee Hansen, but it's Leigh losing ground with that movement, but they've still got possession. So it's John Pendlebury running it in. Gets the ball away there to number 11, Simon Baldwin. Quick play the ball by Leigh. Tim Street. Oh, he's tackled, it's just short. Tremendous pressure from Leigh now in these last. And Featherstone Rovers get possession. So it's Carl Gibson trying to relieve that line. Just about on half time plus injury time now. So Brendan Toulter for Rovers reaches that 20-metre line. And Brendan Toulter is been nursing an injury all the week, although he got a bang on the head that time. Took the ball but slipped on his way to that 20-metre line, but he's okay. Wiped his face, a bit of magic sponge there from Dave Sharp, the Rovers physio. So it's Steve Malloy. Drives the ball in. So Richard Gunn gives the ball there to Brett Daunt, gives the ball there to Martin Pearson. Martin Pearson once again, that big kick downfield. So Lane got all the reach, that's all on now. Number 5 there, Mike Blakely, knocking the ball back. That's play on. So Leigh got it all to do now. They've got a fully 70 metres to come upfield if they want to make an impact in this first half. So plays the ball. So this number 4 again, Dean Anger. Runs well from acting half-back, does the lad, but Carl Gibson there wrapping him up. Now Punksler with the ball there, that long ball out on top, and it's all on. Roll again, possession to Terry Manning. Terry Manning there from Brendan Toulter. Gets the ball there to Ikram Butt. Ikram Butt now there to Brett Daunt, gets the ball for Rovers. And there goes the half-time out here at Leigh, Hilton Park Leigh. Leigh 4, 2 penalty goals there to Mike Blakely. Featherstone Rovers 10. Tried to Martin Pearson, tried to Brendan Toulter, with Martin Pearson converting Brendan Toulter's try. Half-time score, Leigh 4, Featherstone Rovers 10. Welcome back to the second half here at Hilton Park, the home of Leigh Rugby Football Club. And bad news for Rovers that Francis Maloney gone off injured, and Mark Wilson takes the field for Featherstone Rovers. And Tony Burt there, that big thrust down this left-hand side of the field, Leigh in possession. Number 3, Simon Bull. So number 9 there, Paul Rowley from acting half-back. Pugsley with the ball there now. To Lee Hansen, he's had a fine first half as Lee Hansen in the number 12 shirt. Pugsley with the ball now there to Tim Street there. Number 12 there, Richard O'Brien makes the tackle. Oh, and Tim Street not on his feet when he played that ball. Referee says play on. That big kick through, the ball's going to beat everybody, rolls dead. So that'll be a 20-metre tap for Featherstone Rovers. Well, Featherstone Rovers will be missing the pace of Francis Maloney there in the number 6 shirt for this second half. So it's Martin Pearson linking up from full-back. John Pendlebury there upends him, makes the tackle, and also Lee Hansen. So it's Steve Malloy after one tackle, and Tony Burt there completes the tackle there on Steve Malloy. 10 metres short of the halfway line. So Gary Price, that familiar style there, that runs straight does Gary. So Brendan Toulter there gets the ball away in the tackle there to Leo Casey. Leo Casey will take the tackle. loses the ball in the tackle. So number 7, Stuart Pugsley, feeds the scrum. That's good tackling by Martin Pearson on his opposite number there, Andy Collier. So number 3 there, Simon Booth, runs it in. Simon Booth, tall, lanky, rangy fellow, makes headway over the halfway line. Rovers defence caught wanting in this first couple of minutes of this second half. Still leading by 10 points to 4. It's Pugsley with the ball now there to John Pendlebury. John Pendlebury there to Andy Collier. Good play that by LEIGH. So plays the ball. Pugsley with the ball now there to John Pendlebury. John Pendlebury now there. That's good play that. And it's LEIGH going all the way towards the line. Marvellous try that to Dean Anger. LEIGH were threatening that score just before half time, and they've capitalised on it. John Pendlebury. Plays the ball, pulls with the ball now there to John Pendlebury. John Pendlebury now there. That's good play that, and it's LEIGH going all the way towards the line. Marvellous try that to Dean Anger. LEIGH were threatening that score just before half time, and they've capitalised on it. John Pendlebury was in the movement there once or twice to that build-up. And Dean Anger, who's had a fine first half for LEIGH, showed a keen, clean pair of heels, scored in the corner. LEIGH 8, Featherstone Rovers. So number 5, Mike Blakely, trying to square things up, strikes the ball. LEIGH 10, Featherstone Rovers 10. So Featherstone Rovers really up against it now. Martin Pearson getting the game underway. Away from home, and LEIGH really on the boil. But still, they might be having a purple patch. Every team has a purple patch in the game somewhere or other. And let's be hopes LEIGH are just having theirs at this moment. Let's hope that Featherstone Rovers defence can stand firm, weather the storm in front of the home supporters. So it's Tim Street. Good play this by LEIGH. Good passing, Scott Martin with the ball there. Just 10 minutes short of the halfway line. John Pendlebury once again, he's started to run. Roll the roast as John Pendlebury. He's in every movement. It's the loose forward. That big kick downfield. Ikram Butts coming across for the ball for Rovers. Picks it up just about on his own try line. The ball back. Martin Pearce with the ball now there to Terry Manning. Looking for the gaps. Now it's Martin Pearce from acting half-back. Got strong run by the Rovers full-back, that's. Mark Wilson gets up, plays the ball. Steve Malloy with the ball now for Rovers. Good defence by LEIGH. They've really got the tails up now in this second half, so it's Richard Gunn. Richard Gunn, that big kick downfield. Looking for the open space. That's a good kick that by Richard Gunn. So it's Andy Collier. Got strong run by the LEIGH fullback. Gets up, plays the ball. What a game he's had. Number 4 there, Dean Anger. Gets up, plays the ball. Pugsley with the ball now there. Lee Hansen with the ball. Gets the ball away there. To Booth. Number 11 there, Simon Baldwin it was. Gets up, plays the ball. So it's Tony Burke. Tony Burke running at this defence. Simon Bolt here, gets the ball away in the tackle to John Pendlebury. John Pendlebury sees a gap. And that's Rovers' possession. But Leigh looking dangerous now at every moment they make. So Rovers have got possession this time. Terry Manning with the ball. So Iker and Butts trying to make that halfway line. So Leo Casey. Tackle just about on the halfway line. Tony Burke makes the tackle. Plays the ball back. Good ball, that to Carl Gibson. Through the gap, but that's a marvellous defence tackle. Recess, play the ball. So it's Brendan Tota from acting halfback. Gets the ball inside there to Owen Simpson. Just couldn't get that ball out there to Brett Daunt. So Richard Gunn now there to Brett Daunt. That kicks took well. It's a 20-metre tap for Leigh. Ander Collier taking that ball out on the full over his own try line. Once again, number 4 there, Dean Anger, in the thick of things. So number 12, Lee Hansen. Tackle just short of the halfway line. He's got a knock in that tackle. I must say that he's had a fine game as Lee Hansen in the number 12 shirt. So has John Pendlebury, and so also has Dean Hanger, number 4 for Leigh. So everything okay. The scores are still locked at 10 points each. Pendlebury with the ball there, back inside there to Andy Collier. But good defence that by Gary Price on the field. Marvellous tackle that by Gary Price. I just can't see who's going off for Featherstone Rovers. And that kick there has just gone that bit too strong. Once again, a 20-metre tap for Rovers. So Richard Gunn gets the game started. Steve Malloy, big run up the field. Now it's Iker and Butt with the ball. Alan Platt finally makes the tackle. Well, it's just unbelievable the amount of play Featherstone Rovers have lost on the first and second tackle in this match. Oh, Brendan Tota in the stand-off half position for that scrum. So John Pendlebury, and that's an head-high tackle. So here's a chance for Leigh to go back in front. They were in front as far as the 5th or 6th minute by 2 points to 0, and since then Featherstone Rovers have held the upper hand, but Leigh have clawed their way back into the game, 10 apiece. Oh, and that's a let off for Featherstone Rovers there. Mike Blakely clearly missing that kick from straight in front of the post. That could have put Leigh in front. As it is, Featherstone Rovers drop out from their own 20-metre line. Martin Pearce, that big drop kick. So it's Andy Collier now for Leigh. And Steve Malloy there, and Leo Casey making the tackle. So it's rolling the ball now there to Tony Burke. Trying to run the ball in, so it's Tim Street with the ball. Featherstone Rovers fighting for possession in this second half. Just can't seem to get hold of the ball. Number 12 there, Lee Hansen, over the halfway line. So number 9, Paul Rowley from acting half back to Pugsley. Pugsley now gives the ball there to Andy Collier. Well, that's good defence that by Richard O'Brien. So it's John Pendlebury, that little kick over, it's all on. This is good. Oh, that's a bad mistake, that's a knock on. John Pendlebury there, that little kick over. And if that ball had gone to hand, Leigh was scampering under the post. But it was a knock on. So Brett Daunt feeds the scrum for overs. And number 7, Stuart Pugsley, who's never been offside all the match, makes the tackle. So it's Wickham but for overs. Richard Gunn from acting half-back. So Brett Daunt now there to Gary Price, but that's good defence by Leigh. Ball back there to Brett Daunt now there to Martin Pearson running this ball. Deciding that last second there to kick that ball downfield. Number 15, Duncan Platt. Ex-Oldham player, ex-Widnes player, Duncan Platt. Plays the ball back. Number 3, Simon Booth. And Featherstone Rovers struggling to get playing this late half of the field in the second half. They keep getting in Leigh's half, but they can't seem to get hold of that ball. And it's Leigh there trying to... Number 7 there, Stuart Pugsley trying to bring his runners onto the ball. Number 4 there, Dale Anger, gets up, plays the ball. Pugsley with the ball now there to John Pendlebury. John Pendlebury there to Tony Burke, and that's a knock on. Now here's a chance for overs to get the ball from the scrum. 10 metres inside their own half of the field. Still Leigh 10, Featherstone Rovers 10. So it'll be Brett Daunt to feed the scrum. The ball's in. It's out to Rovers. Brett Daunt with the ball. Brett Daunt back inside there. Oh, and Rovers have lost the ball, but surely there's an obstruction there on Featherstone Rovers players. The touch saw it, the referee saw it. So promising that ball from Brett Daunt to Martin Pearson. In return, Martin Pearson reversed the pass inside to Brett Daunt. Brett Daunt there trying to unleash Carl Gibson, but there was infringement in play, and from that Rovers got the penalty. Now it's Owen Simpson plays the ball, so it's Martin Pearson for Rovers. But good tackling once again, number 12 there, Lee Hansen making the tackle. So it's Brett Daunt with the ball. Brett Daunt there through the gap. Oh, that looked like an head-high tackle, and referee says round his neck. That's play on. So it's Richard Gunn with the ball now there to Leo Casey, to Gary Price. Couldn't get the ball there to Terry Manning. So it's Brendan Toot looking for runners. Gives the ball there to Mark Wilson, back there to Brendan Toot. Brendan Toot to Carl Gibson. Carl Gibson now there to Richard O'Brien. Tackle inches short. Plays the ball back, so it's Brett Daunt. And that's a knock on. Paul Pendlebury there getting down for the ball, knocked the ball on. So it'll be a scrum on that 10-metre line. It'll be Brett Daunt to feed the scrum. This is better play by Rovers. Good pressure. Brett Daunt feeds the scrum on the blind side. Terry Manning now. And Lee Hanlon, once again Lee Hansen makes the tackle. And Lee Hansen being penalised for that tackle there on Terry Manning. So number 12 there, Lee Hansen, penalised for that tackle on Terry Manning. A chance this time for Martin Pearson, for Featherstone Rovers to put Rovers 2 points in front. Strikes the ball, strikes it well. Leigh 10, Featherstone Rovers 12. So Leigh get the game restarted. Oh, Richard O'Brien up to his own 20-metre mark. Richard Gunn from acting half-back gives the ball there to Terry Manning. And once again, number 12 Lee Hansen and Tony Burt, number 8, completing the tackle. So Mark Wilson with the ball for Rovers. So Leo Casey trying to reach the halfway line. Tony Burt wrapping him up. Now it's Gary Price's turn. And that's a back tackle, that. Tony Burt there. Head-high tackle, so it'll be Martin Pearson. So Richard Gunn taps the ball to Brett Dort. Brett Dort now there to Steve Malloy. Up to that Leigh 20-metre mark. Rovers have got to capitalise on this territory. So it's Brett Dort with the ball. Brett Dort there back inside there to Richard Gunn. Richard Gunn there, that little dummy. Tony Burt there making the tackle. So it's number 10 there, Leo Casey. Just couldn't get that ball out. So Richard Gunn to Brett Daunt to Martin Pearson. Somebody's got to make a moment. Terry Manning running strong. Gets that ball up there for Mark Wilson. So near yet so far. Now it's Hickenbutt from acting half-back to Brett Daunt. Kicks that ball through. It's all on. But Leigh get possession. That's good defence by the red and whites. All that pressure by Rovers. And only Featherstone Rovers' reward was a penalty goal there by Martin Pearson. Again. So that's a bad mistake by Leigh. Mark Wilson giving away a penalty kick, laying on, but number 5 there, Mike Blakely, that penalty kick towards touch, being took by Owen Simpson. That's a bad mistake, that by Leigh. So it's Leo Casey, gives that one-arm pass there to Gary Price. Gary H. Price, as we better call him, with 2 Gary Price in the team. So it's Brett Daunt with the ball. The ball there to Brendan Toulter. Back inside there to Terry Manning. Terry Manning there to Brendan Toulter. Brendan Toulter being tackled there by Simon Booth. So Brett Daunt to Richard O'Brien. There's the ball, Richard Gunn with the ball, back inside there to Steve Malloy. Steve Malloy out of one tackle, gets the ball there to Terry Manning. Just about on that Leigh 20-metre line, so it's Brett Daunt with the ball there, Brett Daunt. That big up and under, it's all on. Oh, and Hickenbutt goes to try! Brett Daunt, that big up and under. Andy Collier went to get the ball. He missed the ball in Octon, and who was there? Hickenbutt. To scoop the ball up there and plant the ball over the Leigh try line. As easy as making pie, that's. With the ball there, Brett Daunt. That big up number, it's all on. Oh, and Hickenbutt goes to try! LEIGH 10, Featherstone Rovers 16, with this conversion to come from Martin Pearson. And Martin Pearson, here he goes, tags the extras on. LEIGH 10, Featherstone Rovers 18. The Nash of the ball, spilled the ball, and Ikram but there just had to pick the ball up and dive over the try line. 6 more points for Rovers, just a little bit more breathing space. Featherstone Rovers 10, LEIGH 10 I should say, Featherstone Rovers 18. So it's Ikram Butts being tackled there by number 9 Paul Rowley. Now it's Steve Malloy. That's good defence that by John Pendlebury. So Richard Gunn gives the ball there now to Leo Casey, trying to reach the halfway line. So it's Brendan Toolter. Gets up, plays the ball. Ball back there to Brett Daunt there. Tried to place that ball in the corner. That's a good kick that by Brett Daunt. Because to me the wingman there, Mike Blakely, could have took that ball on the full. Decided to let the ball bounce. And there's no way in this game of rugby league should let a rugby league ball bounce if you can catch it on the full. So Featherstone Rovers 3 tries to 1 in this match, but just 8 points in front. LEIGH get possession from the scrum. And Carl Gibson making the tackle. So again, Carl Gibson following his man round from Acton Harpat, makes the tackle round the bootlaces. Number 4 there, Dean Anger. Try scorer for LEIGH in this match. Well, number 12 there, Lee Hansen. Number 9 there, Paul Rowley. Gets the ball away to Pugsley. Pugsley there trying to float the ball over. Coming back inside, but Rovers possession. Lost the ball in the tackle. No, it's a scrum down. It'll be a Rovers head and feed. Brett Daunt to feed the scrum. Number 3 there, Simon Booth, running in field. Lost the ball in the tackle, referee rightly so, allowing the knock on. Oh. And Lee Hanlon there, though, no need for that, just went in on the 3rd tackle there, absolutely flattened Brendan Toolter, but and refereeing just adjusting that Richard O'Brien had been tackled with the ball in his hands, penalising him for running through. So chance here for LEIGH to gain some valuable ground towards that Featherstone Rovers try line. Rovers in the driving seat at this moment by 18 points to 10. So it's Pugsley with the ball now there to Tim Street. So number 9 there, Paul Rowley, trying to make headway towards that Featherstone Rovers try line, but that's good tackling that by Gary H. Price. Number 11 there, Simon Baldwin. 10 metres short of that Rovers try line. Pugsley with the ball now, trying to make headway, but Martin Pearson there makes the try-saving tackle. So that little kick through, it's all on. And that's the changeover. Well, the referee there clearly going towards his pocket there to give Tim Street 10 minutes in the sin bin. changed his mind. So it's Steve Malloy for Overs. Ooh, that looked a bit hard to me, round the neck. Well, to me, the referee's bottled out over this. That tackle on Steve Malloy was clearly rattled around Steve Malloy's neck in early on him, and the referee saw it, and to me, bottled out. Cards with number 5, Mike Blakely. Strikes the ball, strikes it well, but he's missed. That's 4 points, going to begging from Mike Blakely's boots in the last 10 minutes or so. And Rovers still 8 points in front, with about 10 minutes left for play. So here we go, Martin Pearson kicks the ball downfield. Andy Collier picks the ball up deep inside his own half, over the halfway line. Good running by the Leigh fullback. Now it's Duncan Platt. Put Teddy Manning to the task, makes the tackle on the big number 15. Number 3, Simon Booth, runs it in. Good defence that by Steve Malloy. Round the bootlaces. Number 9 there, Paul Rowley, trying to get his Tony Burke onto the ball. But good defence by Rovers. Leo Casey. Copybook tackling. So it's John Pendlebury with the ball. So it's Tim Street. Tim Street, that little kick throw, that's a good move, that. But Owen Simpson there, back for that little kick throw there by Scott Martin. Read the situation there, Owen Simpson. Put himself in a position to get that kick through. So it's up to Rovers forwards now to work out. So it's Carl Gibson for Rovers. Trying to get out in his own 20-metre area. So it's Ikram Butter, age 1 tackles, trying to straighten up. Good running that by the Rovers number 2. Now it's Terry Manning's turn. From acting half-back. So Richard Gunn now there to Brendan Toter. Brendan Toter's changing direction. That's the 5th and last tackle. Ball back there to Brett Dort. Brett Dort now there to Martin Pearson. Martin Pearson puts boot to ball, but it's straight round. Andy Collier's neck. Andy Collier takes the ball well, but that's a marvellous tackle that by Leo Casey. Oh, that would a bone cruncher if ever you saw one. So that's good play by Leigh. Scott Martin with the ball, first by Simon Booth, then by Duncan Platt. Once again, penalty kick to Leigh. Richard O'Brien being penalised, only down at the tackle. So number 5, Mike Blakely, puts the ball into touch on this near side. So it's Tony Burt with the ball. Tony Burt nearly through, but can't run without your legs. Terry Manning have got hold of your legs, you can't run without them. So it's Andy Collier being wrapped up there by Gary Price. It's up, plays the ball, pumps it with the ball now there to Tim Street. Tim Street there, still going, Tim Street! What a run by Tim Street! A metre short of that try line, rolling with the ball now there to Pugsley, to John Pendlebury, back inside there. This is good play. Oh, that was a try-saving tackle by Carl Gibson. Oh, and there's a bit of a As they say in Featherstone, a bit of argy-bargy going on.
Somebody dropped Martin there. I didn't.
From all that then, is result is a penalty kick to LEIGH. So Duncan Platts electing to kick for goal. Here we go, Duncan Platts puts 2 points to his name, 2 more points to LEIGH. It's LEIGH 12, Featherstone Rovers 18. Getting the game underway. And LEIGH just to try and a goal behind now. Tony Burt taking that on one knee, runs it in, but Gary H. Price there wrapping him up. Oh, number 14, David Hill. On for LEIGH. Pugsley now there to Tim Street. That's good defence that by Rovers. Leo Casey involved with that tackle. Done some bone crunchers in this second half, Leo Casey. And once again he's there again to pull the man, this time by the bootlaces. And Rowley there trying to milk a penalty. John Pendlebury with the ball now there. To number 4, Dean Anger. Dean Anger there. Dean Anger using his men to try to get out of trouble, but that's good tackling by Rovers. Oh, and the touch judge didn't want to put his flag up, but he had to do. So it'll be Brett Daunt to feed the scrum. Brendan Tota still at stand-off half for these scrums. Penalty kick to Rovers. Feet up. So Featherstone Rovers clear leaders at 18 points to 12. I'm sure Steve Martin, the coach, will want to finish the match off in style. Another try under the sticks. Is it too much to ask for? I don't think so. So it's Leo Casey. Good driving that by the Rovers number 10. Plays the ball, so it's Brett Daunt with the ball now. There to Richard O'Brien. Up to that late 20-metre line. Gets up, plays the ball. That's the second tackle, so it's Brett Daunt to Brendan Tota. Brendan Tota. Terry Manning picks that loose ball up. Terry Manning through the gap. Terry Manning there saw the gap, shot through it like a bullet. But LEIGH quick to cover up. Now it's Gary Price. Gary Price there. He can smell that try line. That's the 4th tackle. 2 to go in this sequence of 6, so it's Richard Gunn. Richard Gunn now there to Malloy. Malloy there to Brendan Tota. Scores the try! Scores the try in the corner. So it's Richard Gunn. Richard Gunn now there to Malloy. Malloy there to Brendan Tota. Scores the try! Out through the back passage, as to say. And Brendan Tota there showed the ball, showed the dummy. Tackle inches short, but he just managed to reach that arm out. Put the ball over the try line to clinch this match for Featherstone Rovers. Rovers 22, LEIGH 12. So Martin Pearson on the touchline side. Well, I said that Steve Martin would want to finish off in style with a try under the posts. Well, he got a try, but he went out on the wing. But this is no difference to Martin. He's got the height. Has he got the direction? No. Side of the posts. Just floating across. Featherstone Rovers in the lead by 12 points to 22. And just looking round the ground, a lot of dejected LEIGH supporters leaving the ground, and Brett Dawn gets his knees to the ball. Rightly so, it was awkward with that bouncing ball. That's a good start for Rovers in this back into the top flight in the first division. And a win away from home, and I don't think I'm wrong in saying that Featherstone Rovers did they win a match in the first division last time they were in the first division? I doubt it very much indeed. Although, did they win at Swinton? Won at Halifax and all. That's right, Peter. So Brendan Toulter, the man of the match. Brett Dawn with the ball now. They to Leo Casey. Leo Casey, take that ball out wide there to Owen Simpson. And there's no real stop Owen. Oh, he went on skates there. He skated in at the corner. Magic play that by Brendan Toulter. Peter. So Brendan Toulter, the man of the match, breaks over the ball now. To Leo Casey. Leo Casey, get that ball out wide there to Owen Simpson. And there's no real stop Owen. Oh, he went on skates there. Absolutely magic stuff that by Brendan Toulter. Splitting the defence straight down the middle of the field. Already scored 2 tries in this match. Already got on his right hand shoulder. That prop forward there. Leo Casey barging through there like a steamroller. He took the pass, floated the ball out there to Owen Simpson, and Owen Simpson just had to take the ball and absolutely skated in there a full of 20 metres to register his first try of the season in at the corner. And once again, Martin Pearson's left with a difficult kick on the touchline side, but I'm sure he won't bother about that. He's got winning pay in this match. It's LEIGH 12, Featherstone Rovers 26, and that's the final outer here at Hilton Park. Featherstone Rovers, after LEIGH come from behind, 10-4, it was at half-time to Rovers. LEIGH came from behind to level matters up at 10 apiece, looking dangerous. But tries, 3 tries in the last, 2 tries in the last 2 or 3 minutes of play, a sealed a well-worthy win for Featherstone Rovers. For LEIGH, a try to Dean Hanger, 3 goals to Mike Blakely, 1 try to LEIGH. In reply, Hickenbutt a try, Owen Simpson a try, and Brendan Toulter 2 tries. Martin Pearson a try, and Martin Pearson 3 goals. All in all, 5 tries for Rovers, 1 for LEIGH. Every picture tells a story. Full time from LEIGH 12, Featherstone Rovers 26.
Football is the greatest game of all.